Hello and welcome back to the Making Fire podcast. This is a podcast where two longtime besties talk about their favorite TV show.
You're not going to start over?
Survivor, no.
Okay.
Riley, how are you this week?
Let's just say I barely made it through this week, everybody. I have spoken multiple times. I'm in my senior year of university, and I am on the struggle bus right now. We have about 6 weeks left until... We have about 60 days. I think that's what I meant to say. About 60 days left until graduation. About 2 months, which is 8 weeks if you do the math right. And I'm so close I can taste it, I can visualize it, I can see it. But we're not close enough, people. I'm on spring break right now. We're back home. Sorry if I cut out a lot. That's me to future Maddie, everybody. And we're gonna try to enjoy my senior spring break in my little hometown.
Mm-hmm. Okay, you know what's crazy about graduation is that they let you do it, and you don't always know if you actually graduated at that point.
I mean, I know I'm graduating.
No, if you passed your classes.
No, I know. There's no option.
Yeah. I get that. But
some people might be concerned.
Oh my
God. They destroyed the info desk.
Did you tell me about that? Or you told me they closed it, but it's gone now?
They deconstructed it. Oh. This was Maddie's job in college, everybody. She worked at her school's info desk.
And it was so fun.
It has been bulldozed.
That is so upsetting.
Anyway, Maddie, how are you?
Well, now I'm sad following that devastating news.
Boo!
But I'm doing good. I'm also tired, but I feel like we're just at this point in the spring where I need something exciting. Even one sunny day totally changes my life because there's nothing else going on. And I hate that. But my biggest life update for the week, I decided to invest in a nice pillow because I've just been using crappy ones that I've been waking up with my head hurting or my neck hurting. And I got a fancy memory foam pillow and it has changed my life. And now I look forward to going to bed even more during the day, which is a problem. Because then I love
going to bed. I love going to bed.
I wake up and I'm like, how many hours till I can get my head back on this pillow?
Is it soft or is it firm?
It's like a memory foam one.
So it's like a firm squish.
Yes.
Okay.
And it's perfect.
I'm so happy for you.
Thank you. So, yeah,
Thank you, Barbie.
Thank you, Barbie. This month has National Barbie Day at some point.
Okay.
And did you know that Barbie's from the Midwest?
No.
Yeah.
Where in the Midwest?
She's from Wisconsin.
Interesting.
Yeah. It is an interesting fact. Let me be specific. Where is Barbie from? Oh, Willows, Wisconsin. I don't know where that is, but...
Wait, that's where she's from, or that's where she was invented?
That's where she's from, fictionally.
Oh. What happened to Barbie Land?
Barbie Land?
Is that not what it's called in the movie?
Oh, yeah, I don't know. Oh, she's from... I don't know. There's nothing around there. I've never heard of this place. Anyways, Barbie's a Midwestern gal, and we don't need to take that any further.
Have you ever thought if Barbie wasn't a Democrat, she would be a Republican, and that's really problematic.
Yeah? I don't think Barbie is involved in politics.
Wow.
She is politics because she is president. She is everything.
Those are the two
things.
She's
president. She's the military.
Barbie in the military industrial complex.
maybe like the Barbie universe is something that needs to be studied more because she is in everything.
Let me go get my
That's
PhD
kind of
and
like,
study Barbie lore.
yeah. Do you think Barbie Land is run by Barbie like as a dictatorship? Like she controls
Did you
everything?
watch the movie?
Yeah, but they didn't really touch on that part of it.
I mean, they had a president, Barbie.
Yeah. Anyways, do we
They had a
want to talk
Supreme
about
Court.
Survivor?
We can.
Oh,
There's no Barbies on Survivor.
okay. Yeah.
There are dolls, though. Looking at you, Venus. She's giving doll.
Oh my
She's giving
god.
women of. She's giving no, like in a good way. Like she's giving doll. She's giving woman of the hour. She's giving Drop Dead Gorgeous.
Oh.
That was a compliment.
Okay, it didn't really feel like one, but
And it's like, well, for gay people,
huh?
like you're a doll. Like for gay people, like you're a doll. Like
No, I
you're one of
get.
the
No,
dolls.
I get
Like
it.
yeah, like
But
it
like
was a
the way
compliment.
the tone was like kind of, you know, I probably wouldn't take it as a compliment if you said it to me like that. But I
Well,
actually
good thing
don't
I
think
wasn't saying to you.
I was gonna say I don't think you've ever given me a compliment, so like maybe I just don't get it. It's fine.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. So the episode opens on the purple Yanu tribe. I in my notes do still have to put the colors next to them because especially when there's
Real.
3 tribe names floating around, I'm not gonna remember it, and that's okay. So they start by discussing tribal from the previous night, and oh my god, no, that picture is crazy.
I'm sorry. I just feel like you look so good. Like if I were to compliment anything, it would be
That
this
okay,
picture.
actually, okay, before we get into Survivor, I was also looking through old pictures today and I found this.
Oh wow.
And I also found this. If we're just showing old pictures, I just wanted to.
I don't think I've ever had my eyes that wide since we took that
Oh, from the
picture.
same day as the one you showed.
What the
I
fuck
think
were we on?
I think
What were we doing? That was my phase where I never smiled with my teeth, everybody. I don't know why I went through that phase. Um, I look
Yeah.
so good when I smile with my teeth now. I mean,
No,
ever,
you
forever.
do.
I've never had like braces. I just have good, naturally good teeth.
You're so lucky for that. Do you think you could bring this outfit back for like a day?
Gray hoodie, black pants, black Converse.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could. I have all those in my wardrobe right now.
Oh, I love that. Well, maybe like, yeah, we should just honor that era sometime.
Yeah,
Bring
I'll
it
let you know.
back.
I'll
Okay.
keep you posted.
Okay. Anyways, let's get back to the episode. Okay. So Kenzie is worried about Bonnie's performance at Tribal because he was bad at kind of regulating how he was talking. He's not
Mhm.
good at lying and he's coming off a little strong, which we'll see later in the episode. Um, and that is valid. That would be hard to work with and tell people things, and then have them kind of crumble under the pressure of tribal.
Mhm.
So then we see Tiff and Banu. I believe they're talking, and they become worried about Kenzie because she is playing really well socially with everyone. She is connecting with everyone and trying to have conversations with everyone, and they're picking up on that, and that is worrying to them. And then we also kind of wrap up this scene with seeing the Yanu tribe struggling at camp. They're losing their spirits a bit. No one's eating or sleeping. They're wet and cold and kind of sad.
I mean, I would be too,
Yeah.
especially after with us losing. You lost the first challenge. Just what if somebody you don't have fire?
Yeah.
Like, that's a little depressing. Like,
Yeah.
valid response.
Yeah. Well, then we see the theme song, and then after that, we see the.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe we need a theme song. Do you think you could sing one for us at the beginning of every episode? I won't edit it in, it'll be like natural every time.
Yeah. You have to remind me next episode.
Okay, okay. Anyways, so then we get to the Orange Nami tribe, and it's a completely different vibe from the Purple tribe. We see Tevin being the star, making everyone laugh, and just really connecting well with almost everyone except Venus. We'll get there. And we see Soda and Tevin talking, and Soda talks about distancing herself from Venus because she can tell that none of the other people trust her, and Soda wants to be with the numbers and not be the outlier working with Venus. And Venus is really struggling because no one wants to talk to her, and she is so isolated, and that would be so hard.
That is so sad. When Venus went up to Soda and was like, "Do we want to talk later today?" And Soda was like, "I don't think we need to talk today." And Venus went, "You don't want to talk at all today?"
Yeah.
Like, that's so sad. And to know, like, I will give her the props that she deserves. I don't think she's playing 100% like a great game, but Venus. But I do think her ability to, you hear the train?
Yeah.
The ability to cue into the fact that she is on the bottom. I feel like sometimes people, especially early in the game like this, you aren't able to catch the, like, I feel like Liz
Mm-hmm.
is not understanding where she's positioned in the tribe. Venus very clearly sees where she's positioned on the tribe, which I think it giving her the benefit of the doubt. I'll give her props for that. But it is really sad to see it, because imagine this is like your dream of the lifetime, and you get put on a tribe where nobody likes you, and you're only
Yeah.
4 days in. Like, you're like, it's not even been a week, and people have already, the lines have already been drawn in the sand.
Yeah. And like as Soda, if I were Soda, I feel like I would still at least be like nice to her. I mean, you don't have
Mm-hmm.
to strategically be working with her, but I don't think, especially if Venus does make it far into the game, you don't want to be like actively shutting people out and making enemies.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, well, after that, we move to the Green Siga tribe, and we see them make their fire, and we get to hear from Ben the rock star, and he's very emo about the fire, very emotional about it.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have Charlie talking about the dynamics within the tribe, and him being with the guys, the other two guys, and Maria, but then also with the Charlie's Angels group.
Mm-hmm.
But it's him and Maria in both of those alliances. So then we see, I thought it was kind of a fun little flashback moment in comparison between Charlie and Maria to Malcolm and Denise.
I agree. I really like this flashback, especially because they're branding themselves with this survivors branding themselves with this new era, and so you're getting a lot of new fans, um, especially fans that are probably watching through like Netflix, and so they're only seeing like two random seasons at a time, because they never put all the seasons on at once, right? So I like that it's Survivors getting to the point where it's more self-referential.
Mm-hmm.
I know it can be kind of annoying for, especially if you're like a super fan, right? And you're watching, you're like, oh my god, not another Malcolm and Denise, not another Tony, not another Sandra, right? But like, it's fun. It's fun to like reflect back and be like, oh my god, yes, Malcolm and Denise, like that was what a great duo. And I think this duo, it has room. It has room to blossom into something.
And I like seeing the visual flashbacks as well. I
Mm-hmm.
just think it's super fun editing. And I love to
I
see
agree.
things like that, especially tying all the seasons together when you're on literal season 46. Connecting them more is really entertaining, and I really like it. So then we go back to the Orange Nami tribe, and we see Venus, Randon, and Hunter all start looking for an idol or the Beware Advantage, which Randon finds, and he opens it, and it's the exact same thing as Tiff's, where
Mm-hmm.
basically his tribe has to lose immunity to get to the next clue. So that's about it there. Then we go
I
to,
like the editing of that.
huh?
I liked the editing of that. Like all three of
Yeah.
them looking, and they were looking for different like reasons. Hunter was like, "I get the firewood. Nobody's gonna suspect me." And then
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was nice. And you were like, "Who's gonna get it? Who's gonna get it?"
Yeah, I love moments like that. And it's fun when they actually find it, which we'll get to.
Yes.
Um,
Oh, we'll get to.
we'll get to. Then, okay, we go to Yanu and we see Jess eating the.
Yeah, they were like, yo, mama.
Yeah. So Jess is eating the ants. And then my TV did cut out for a few seconds. So
Oh,
I'm not sure exactly what happened, but then the next thing I saw was Kenzie working on building connections with Banu and Jess. And this is when she realizes that neither of them are strategic or interested in really talking any strategy. And then Jess mouths to Banu that they need to vote Kenzie out because she's being too strategic. And I'm like, she's trying to loop you in.
I don't like the gameplay from Jess this episode. I mean, Jess and Banu. Was both very interesting. That moment was so silly though. Kenzie was like, "Let me gauge, let me see," and she was like, "Oh my god, it's like the blind leading the blind over here. Cannot do that." And the fact that Kenzie wasn't even 3 feet ahead of her, and Jess looks at Banu and goes, "Devour her out, girl."
And it's not like Kenzie was saying anything crazy. She was literally just trying to like gauge where they're at all.
Yeah,
And they were giving
yeah.
her nothing. And then Jess was suspicious about it. Like, did Jess just think this was like a little vacation on the beach? Or was she going to actually like play the game?
Stop. Not too much on my sister. Not too much on my sister.
Okay. We'll get back to her later. But then Kenzie does tell them, hey, don't tell anyone about our conversation. Let's keep this between the three of us. And then they immediately go,
That is shady.
yes. And there's no reason for it. Like,
Literally
you're allowed to
'cause
talk.
because I think if she had not said that, like, I don't think Jess is like, it wouldn't have been a red flag to Jess.
Until she said
But then
it.
she said that, which made it a little bit more shady. Like, why are you trying to control what I do right now? And even if Jess did, like, I don't think there's any world where Jess would have gone to Q
No.
with any of, like, I don't. That was a little too much from Kenzie. Just don't tell anybody about this, okay? Girl, if you don't mind your business.
Another thing I noticed specifically in this section of the episode, I have never noticed how beautiful that beach is.
It is stunning. When they went through the rock and then it
Yeah.
like had more beach, I was like, this is beautiful.
Yeah. I don't know if I've seen even if someone had or like a tribe has been on that beach before, they have not shown it that way before because it was so pretty. Anyways, then we go to Siga
Be careful, there might be
and
broken glass.
yeah. Well, then we go to Siga and Charlie is just being socially awkward. He's saying random things at random times that everyone's like, "Oh, okay," which, I get it. Say it.
Nothing.
Okay.
I just think he's silly.
Oh, okay.
He's a boy. He's just an awkward boy. How old is Charlie? Hey Siri. How old is Charlie on Survivor 46?
Okay, I found this on the web for How Old is Charlie on Survivor 46. Check it out.
He's 26.
Oh,
There's no way that
that's
he's
older.
26 years old.
That's older than I thought he would be.
I thought he was like my age.
Yeah.
Our age. Sorry. You were the same.
Well then, of course, Charlie continues to talk about his favorite artist, which I'm not going to say her name. Because otherwise we'll be saying it every single episode, and this is not a pop star podcast.
Real.
Anyways, then we get a whole portion of the episode where Charlie and Ben are going back and forth naming song names from their favorite artists, and they make it over 100. That was really great television. I'm really glad they
Shoot me.
chose to showcase that moment.
I was like, literally, show me anything else.
Yeah. Like, you're telling me there's
I don't
nothing more
care.
interesting going on?
Oh God, that tribe is boring as hell when this is what they're showing. They were trying to hype us up. They put the numbers on the screen. I was like, I don't care, and I don't believe you.
Yeah.
You're telling me they got like 100 each?
Yeah.
That's a little obsessive, don't you think?
No.
And also, not that we're naming the artist that Charlie was referring to, but I don't think it was fair that they got to do the second version of the same song.
I agree.
That's cheating. That's all I'm gonna say.
Valid. Well, next at Nami, we see Tevin as... This made me laugh. Tevin, Liz, do you think you'll ever get married again? He's just so nosy. Like, that's something that we would ask. And then she's like, I don't know if a man can handle that she's more successful than him. And then we get a confessional with Liz talking again about how she doesn't need the money. And I'm like, you are so tone deaf.
So tone deaf. And I don't I think it's fine. There has been rich people in the past who have played Survivor.
Yeah.
Playing because you just want the experience and you want to win is fine. But it is not...
Don't make it your whole personality.
You need to have an actual personality. And... read the room. You want to win so bad. How are you so tone deaf?
Yeah. You're telling a bunch of young people that you don't need the money. And that you're rich.
You said, baby, I own 4 businesses.
Yeah.
Girl, leave it out. Leave it alone.
One of my favorite comments of the episode next is Randon says talking to Liz is like talking to a billboard.
Okay, so valid. And he kind of ate that up because he said that and I was like, no, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Talking to a billboard. That is such a good read.
I know.
It's like Cochran saying that. What I forget who he was talking about. He was like, she's kind of like vanilla ice cream. Like nobody's clamoring for vanilla ice cream.
Yeah.
That's what I'm getting from Liz.
No, it's true. If she has all... I need to stop with her outfits. If she has all that money, why did she dress so poorly? If I owned 4 businesses and didn't need $1 million,
oh my God,
I would just like look a little bit more put together.
What is it? The library is now closed.
Yeah. Anyways, then we see Randon talking about becoming allies with Venus. And then my problem is that he tells her about the Beware advantage.
I am so sick and tired of people sharing advantages on this show. Like, can we keep one thing a secret ever? I understand why he did. I feel like out of the last 6 seasons, Randon more than anybody, it makes sense why he did it. Because I feel like more than other people, he needed Venus on his side and has shown he had created a negative relationship with Venus in the past. Like, Venus knows that Randon wanted to target her. And so I understand in him doing that what he was doing, and I think obviously it worked out well for them. So I can understand why it was a valid game move for Randon, but I am sick and tired of people sharing about idols and advantages. Especially if you don't have a vote.
Yeah.
It's just not smart.
Just to push back on that a little bit, I don't think he needed to share it because literally okay.
Sorry.
Do you want to talk about that or?
You just said that you would push back. I'm like, I don't know what I had said that you needed to push back on.
Well, maybe if you let me finish talking.
Okay, finish talking.
Okay. I don't think that Randa needed to tell Venus about the Beware advantage because
Hmm.
she was literally just talking about how no one would talk to her. I think just being nice to her and like, including her in your strategy and like literally anything, she would have appreciated that.
Do you think that she? So I think she's going to develop into a really smart player. I feel like she's a little. I hate saying this, especially about a woman, especially about a woman of color. She's a little emotional right now.
Hmm.
I just feel like just at the start of the game, but I think she's smart, and I think she's going to develop really nicely, like strategy wise. Do you think that she has the mind to be like, okay, I see what he's doing. He very clearly wants to work with me, or do you think she would have just been like nodding her head and being like, I'm gonna remember that you wanted that Soda came to me and told me that you wanted to get me out, and I'm never gonna work with him.
I
Like,
think
say he didn't come up with the beware advantage.
I think if he was genuine, I mean, he seems like he actually does want to work with her because he does need an
Hmm.
ally. I feel like he could. I mean, maybe he's not as good socially as I'm potentially giving him not necessarily credit for, but credit for.
Yeah,
I think he could do it. I She seems vulnerable enough in this moment that she just needs an ally. And I
I
think
think
there's
this
other
is
ways
gonna
to
be.
show up.
I feel like this is gonna turn out. If they continue, I feel like this is gonna be a good duo to watch this season.
Yeah.
I feel like they both at this point, neither of them have anything to lose.
Yeah, that's
Like,
true.
they're both very clearly at the bottom of whatever dynamic is going on in that tribe. So I'm going to be very interested to see how it continues to play out because I think they're going to be exciting to watch.
I agree. Well, moving on from that, we get to the immunity reward challenge, and immediately the tribe start making fun of Jelinski being voted out, and things get kind of tense.
I've never seen tribes be so heated against each other like that before.
For what reason?
Because
Like, what? Why were they? I didn't understand like what the big
the
deal
green and
was.
orange tribe were making fun of the purple tribe, and then the purple tribe adequately responded and was like, "Why are you guys making fun of us right now?"
Yeah, I don't understand why the other tribes were like making such a big deal out of it. Like, that's the game. Someone's gonna get voted out.
I know, and I don't understand why. Maybe because Jelinski seemed like he was one of their like physical players, they would have kept him in longer. But I'm like,
That doesn't
but then they were like,
mean.
no, I don't know. Yeah, it was a really weird interaction, and then everybody started getting upset with each other, and I was like, what is going on right now?
It really started things off poorly to an
Yeah,
already a challenge that only goes downhill from there.
downhill.
Yeah. Well, to get into that, so the challenge is starts with like the classic putting the cart together and then carrying some heavy things through an obstacle course. And then the kicker is it ends by solving this tall like curved puzzle that really takes all hands on deck.
Mm-hmm.
And they have to spell a word and it has to be the correct word on the front and back. And the winners of this challenge get fishing supplies and immunity. Um, I feel like it's okay. First comment: if I heard Liz singing her little stupid Nami song, I
Oh
would walk
my
over there
god!
and
Hit her!
yeah,
I was like, if you do not, even if she was okay, can I share a personal anecdote?
yeah.
Nothing pissed me off more in high school than when I would run the mile. Guys, I'm a big boy. I have always been a big boy. When I would run the mile and be the last person to finish because I'm fat, and it would take me like 3 or 4 minutes longer than everybody else. When everybody would start cheering for me and being like, Riley, you can do it. You can do it. Shut the fuck up. I know I can do it. I'm going to finish. Just give me some time, okay? Ooh,
Exactly.
if Liz was singing to me, you guys can do it. I know we can do it. We're going to do it. Shut the fuck up.
whether I was on her tribe or not, I would be like,
Liz, if you want to
shut
pay for my
up.
college debt, you can.
Yes.
Yeah.
Also, thank you for sharing, because that is so demeaning, and I hate that like
It is so demeaning.
that PE teachers like encourage it, and they're like, oh, why don't, when they're like, oh, go run with them to finish too. I'm like,
oh my god, that was the worst when they would start running with me, and then I would be like, get away from me, please!
sorry, not to bring up more trauma.
No, I hate it. I literally, it's not traumatizing. It's just annoying as fuck. I'm like, why would you think that would make me feel better? Like, I'm gonna do it.
Exactly.
Like, I have to finish it. There's no ultimatum. Like, I'm gonna finish it. Just, you're not gonna make me go faster.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm running with about 100 pounds more than you're running with right now, buddy. Like, give me a couple minutes, okay?
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, no, I agree. Her singing and yelling, I was like, this is far too much.
And when we could hear her in the background when the shots weren't even on her, that's how you know she was doing too much.
You could hear her throughout the whole challenge. I was like, Diva. What's her name? Her and Mariah. Her and Mariah were talking to each other.
Yeah.
I was like, y'all, this is a billboard conversation.
Yeah.
I was so bland. They're like, what's your name? Oh, I'm Liz. Oh, I'm Moira. Fuck, I'm Mariah. And, I like your glasses. I like your socks.
I saw people on TikTok being like, wow, that's crazy that the same person on both tribes sat out.
They are the same person.
They're identical.
Yeah.
Anyways, so back to the challenge part of it. It's like the purple tribe is kind of behind throughout it, but really it ends up being super even in the end.
Yeah.
So we get to the puzzle, which is kind of the main part of this, and everyone keeps dropping it or spelling it wrong. And it was intense. People were getting so mad at each other.
This was a really aggravating challenge to watch, and like, I wasn't aggravated at them for not being able to do it. I was aggravated because I was like, why is this so difficult? They made this so hard for really no reason. Why were the blocks so heavy? I was consistently afraid that a block was gonna fall on somebody's head or fall on their foot. We'll talk about foot later, but I was like, this is really dangerous. These are heavy pieces, and like, I was like, these aren't the most, they're all kind of short, I feel like.
Okay, I was gonna bring that up. If you're not tall, you're screwed.
Like, how are you supposed to help in this challenge?
You can't unless you're on the either end.
Like, you're short, and sorry, not to make a generalization about short people. Usually shorter people are weaker, right? And so then you're on the ends, which means you're holding the blocks for the longest amount of time, and you're probably holding you're probably holding 2 or 3, and that is the most important part of the whole structure. So you're having like, I was thinking about that the whole time. I was like, imagine they had not voted Jelinski out, right? They would have been at such an unfair advantage. The purple tribe would have had an unfair advantage on that one, because like the green tribe couldn't get the block into the thing because nobody was tall enough to get the piece over. Jelinski would have just been like,
yeah.
Anyway, yeah.
Well, they needed Drew from last season. He would have been great at that challenge, actually. He would have been like, you hold this one, you hold this one.
All right, moving on.
Okay, so then we see the moment that was previewed from the first episode of Banu screaming at Jess because she dropped the pieces again. And
screaming.
Okay, his reaction is not justified, but watching her one-handed hold the blocks up and then just like not doing anything and dropping them, I would also lose my mind at her.
I don't understand. Okay, so like, Jess, as like, on paper, when we were doing the cast assessment, just on paper, I was like, okay, I'm down with this. Whatever this is, the vibe in this interview, I'm liking it. I don't understand. There was just like zero instincts.
I have a
For any
confession.
what?
I have a confession.
Okay.
When I was choosing my winner pick, it was between her and Q. I almost went with Jess. Could you
Dang.
imagine?
That would have been iconic. I'm so sorry.
No.
Um, I think that she was just slightly out of her element, and it was frustrating watching the challenge. I felt bad for her, but like Bonnie was screaming at her like that. I was like, that is not helpful at all to
No.
this at all. But then also her not knowing how to do anything. I was like, girl, what? She never runs at any challenges. She never. I was like, Diva, you have to do something. And when Q took over the puzzle and he grabbed her wrist and was like, hold it right
Here.
hold it right here, and do not move, hold it right here. I was like, oh my god.
But like, is that what it takes to get her to do anything? Like,
I mean, you didn't know you have two hands. You were just gonna.
there were so many shots of her holding it with one hand. Meanwhile, other people are like
hold
full body.
two hands, like
Yes.
using her back to prop it up, like.
Yes.
That's.
I don't know if I've in my time watching Survivor, I can't recall someone who has played a game like her. Where she just
like a low effort type of game.
low effort and just like completely aloof.
Yeah. I'm trying to think.
Like, not only is she not fully like understanding what's going on, but she also feels like she's just absolutely not trying. And maybe that's wrong, and like we have not been out there, we can't understand, but like if someone tells if I'm in a challenge where my job is to hold a block up, I'm going to put more than one hand on it, and I'm not going to walk during challenges. Like, you know?
I think it's so funny. Before the premiere episode, there was images released of the cast doing the first challenge. And I remember seeing a TikTok or something on Twitter. And it was a picture of Jeff was like, go. And it was all of them mid-sprint. It was just a picture. And Jess was clearly walking in the picture. And people were like, yes, queen of walking. Like, and now I'm like, that was her downfall.
Yeah.
I mean, that was not the only thing that was her downfall, but
yeah. Well,
yeah.
Ultimately, Nami finishes first, Siga second, and Yanu goes back to tribal and does not get Flint. Womp womp.
Pretty emotional end to the challenge too.
Yes, I was going to bring that up. Jeff is like, hey, what's up? Like, and Tiff is livid, won't talk.
She is, and she says, I'm not going to say anything because I'm going to say something I shouldn't say. And then Jess is like, it's me.
Jess says that Tiff is going to give her a spanking back at camp. And I'm like, girl, shut up.
I was like, that's too much.
Yeah. So you're aware that you're not doing anything. I don't know.
And then why aren't you solving the problem?
Yeah. And
Right. Have you ever been to Krispy Kreme?
You said this last episode. Was it crispy?
Can I not make a recurring joke?
What was the joke?
Was it crispy?
No, but like, how did it fit in? It kind of felt like you were just trying to like make a joke.
No, so usually I'll go right, and then in my little soundboard brain, the button presses for me to go, have you ever been to Krispy Kreme? After I go, right.
The soundboard in your brain.
What?
The soundboard in your brain. Can you press, what's another button?
Well, I have to, like, that's the thing, is like, usually it's when I hear something, and then I say something in response.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I love how your mind works.
Thank you.
Yeah. So after the challenge, we go back to the Nami camp, and they are pumped about the supplies, but Venus is not having a good time because she got her toe crushed by the wagon during the challenge, and she's mad because I guess she, during the challenge, told people to like go a certain way and they weren't listening, so her toe got crushed. So she feels like no one cares about her or is listening to her.
Okay, I don't know what you're about to say, but I think Venus's feelings are valid. Also, during the challenge what was happening, she was like, don't go here, and then they kept going, and then she got trapped, and then Soda was like, you're trapped.
Yeah.
And Venus was like, you guys trapped me. She didn't say that, but that was kind of what happened. But I don't think her reaction was, especially if her toe got crushed. We've seen people get medevaced for less things.
Yeah.
So I'm like, you guys, I don't think it's that crazy. Like, I don't. Her being emotional about this, I don't think is. They were all like, oh my god, she's like so emotional right now, and I was like, I didn't think her response was too wild.
Yes, and then they
She
also,
was
I don't know if
she
it was
was
at this part, but when they showed both times when Jeff gave her the
yeah,
statue, and then Soda tries to take it from her, like kind of forcefully.
yeah.
I
So I
That
saw
would
the
also
second,
make me
yeah.
uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I think I would have an attitude if I were Venus too, but it is hard to watch.
It's hard to watch, and some of it is like a little, like not unjustified, but I'm like, oh, I don't know if this is the right energy to have right now. Like for you, the best energy for you to have in the middle of a game like this is what I should
Yes,
say.
I think the feelings are valid, but you also have to understand,
Yes,
like, I'm playing a game right now. Like, I
yes,
can't really be doing that. Like,
yes, and yes, I think that is ultimately what I agree with. It's like feel your feelings. Like if my toe got crushed, I would be really upset too, especially if it's a bunch of people who consistently have not listened to me. Like there was a clip, I think it was earlier when she first brought up the fact she wasn't being listened to, and she was trying to talk in camp, and she asked Tevin a question, and then he
mm-hmm.
fully just like ignored her.
Yes.
Like that would have pissed me
I
off.
think at that point, my strategy would be just like, I'm gonna just try and not get voted out. Like, hope we don't go to tribal and I don't want to get voted out. And then I'll turn on all these people. Like,
Yeah, like there's Tevin. I'm living for this Tevin Hunter Soda 3, but I'm like, this is not smart,
no. And at a
especially in a game where
minimum, you go.
I was gonna say where tribes are so small, and the last couple seasons they've started swapping again, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like the last thing you need is like if you're Hunter and Soda to be swapped on a tribe with Venus, and then two other people. Venus is gonna jump that ship so fast.
Yeah. And just think about how great, if like she just needs to pull it together, because if she made it to the end game, whether it's jury or like final three, think of her story of being like, I was shut out completely. Like,
It's good.
and you did this, and look where I'm at.
I think I think she's gonna have longevity in this game. Like I think she has a real promising storyline because usually people who are made out to be this character don't get the type of edit that she's having.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like I feel like they're setting up a real underdog edit. Usually when they make somebody out like this, they just make him a villain or they make him like aloof.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I think it's more of an underdog edit. Like we're gonna see her go somewhere from this. She's
Mm-hmm.
starting at her bottom, but I truly do think she's gonna rise. Like I have a good watch her get eliminated this week.
I hope
That would be
not.
so devastating. Anyway,
Okay, well, moving on, we get some sad music that starts playing, and we go to the Yanu tribe, and everyone is having a hard time. Specifically, we get to see Tiff, and she is feeling really upset because of how she got really frustrated in the challenge and about how others may have perceived her for that, which would be so hard, especially in a challenge and situation like that where things are so tense and emotional. I think it would be hard to see in that moment, but like I watching it didn't feel like Tiff was being like more upset than other. I mean, obviously Banu kind of stole the show
yeah,
with that one, but I
yeah.
feel like all of the tribes felt that way. Like internally all of them were getting frustrated with each other. But like that would be really hard to be going through.
I really like this conversation. And this is my FM major coming out. I really like this conversation on like the crazy black woman stereotype because I think this is something we've historically seen. The angry black woman. I think this is something we've historically seen in reality TV, especially on Survivor. And I like that there's sort of an inward facing conversation happening about it. That it's like Tiffany's kind of critiquing the show in a way, because it's like, oh, I know how people are going to see me. And she cannot be seen that way, because as soon as she is perceived as this angry black woman, she's marked off as emotional, and she's going to be seen as unstrategic, and all these different things. People aren't going to want to work with her. And so I think her feelings are valid. I agree with you that I mean, again, we're not there. What we were perceived in the edit, I was like, I don't feel like what she was doing was too. If anybody was overly emotional, it was Banu. But I really liked having this conversation and giving it space on the show. I think is really nice. I felt really like, obviously neither of us are black women, so we don't really know that feeling. But I was like, I know what you're like. I
really felt for her.
You don't want to play into a stereotype, and you don't want to feel like you're going to get put into a box for a stereotype, right?
Especially that early in the game when like things are already kind of weird between the other tribes. Like, especially after having a hard day, I think. Especially in the beginning, it can feel hard. It probably feels hard, like, thinking long term about, like, oh, these are people I'm going to need to have relationships after. Like, I hope I didn't do something now to mess up my entire game. And that would be a really hard space to be in. I cannot imagine.
Like, you imagine you merge and everybody already has a perception of you, and, like, you haven't even talked to them yet.
Yeah.
That would if that happened to me, that would break my heart. Like, I'd be like, there's no way. Like, how am I supposed to do anything from this? Yeah.
Yeah. But also, I just want to say, I love Tiff. And I'm so glad that we now love both Tiffs from this new era. Like,
yes, Tiff squared.
Tiff squared. Team Tiff.
The Making Fire podcast will consistently support anybody on Survivor named Tiff. For now.
Hope we don't ever have to retract that statement.
Well, no, I'm gonna retract that real quick. Historically, we have been Tiff supporters. Yeah. But anything can happen.
Anything can.
And that card can be revoked.
Yes. Well. So Kenzie comes up to talk to her and to Tiff, and they start talking about what they want to do at tribal council that night. And so Kenzie talks about making a fake idol to hide for Jess to prevent her from using her shot in the dark. And then Tiff tells, okay, so they do that. They make the fake idol and they hide it. Really? Yeah.
You finished that also.
Okay. So they make the fake idol out of Jelinski's things. The beads from his water bottle and stuff like that. And then they hide it basically in the same spot that the actual Beware Advantage was, but like they don't hide it as well. It's definitely poking out. And then Tiff goes up to Jess and is like, hey, let's go look for idols.
This is such a stupid plan.
Yeah.
First of all, I'm so sick and tired. I hate. I don't know. We had a really good shot in the dark play last season with Caleb, but like other than that, the shot in the dark has been kind of underwhelming, consistently underwhelming, and I don't like this idea that people have to consistently plan around it.
Yeah,
it kind of just like I'm like there is so many extra steps, more steps for this vote than there needs to be, and I'm like, why are we making a fake idol? We're hiding it. We're telling Jess to go. We're taking Jess to go look for it. Jess can't find it. We have to give her that. Like, so many steps. This is stupid. Why are we assuming Jess knows how to look for an idol? She has consistently shown that she does not know how to interact with the environment around her. Why are we assuming that Jess is going to play the shot in the dark? I don't even know. Like, she feels in trouble, but does she really want to stay that bad? Like, it sounds like she's kind of like she kind of hate. I mean, from the perception of what I got, it sounds like Jess was not really having a fun time out in the jungle.
Yeah.
Tiff and her don't have Tiff and Jess don't really have a relationship. I feel like it would have made more sense to have Kenzie go look with her.
Yeah.
Or two. I was like, why Tiff and Jess don't have a relationship?
Yeah.
And Jess might be aloof, but she's not stupid. She picked up the idol and said, "Guys,"
I know.
she was like, she was like, "This just looks like stuff that you found around camp."
Okay. So I want to talk about this. So I don't understand why. Okay. So Q is the one that's like, hey, I'm going to give you this idol if you vote the way I want you to. And that is, I think, such a bad, like, it's just such a bad strategy. Because then if, like, Jess is obviously going to play it, like, why would she not play this idol?
Yeah,
Imagine if she stays in the game. Why would she ever trust Q again?
like, and that's the thing that I was not like. The whole thing, like, shitting
The
on
bridge
Jess.
is burned at
We're
the
shitting on
second.
Jess for bad gameplay, but this was not picture perfect. I
No.
was like, no, because that's a great point. And then because then Q was like, "Oh, I want to flip the vote. Everybody
Yes.
should vote Kenzie."
Yes.
And I'm like,
And
Jess survives, and then what?
yes.
You looked at her in the eye multiple times and told her that that was a real
She
idol.
asked you. She said, "Look in my eyes and tell me this is a real idol."
And what I lived for is that he never said it was. He never said it was fake or it was real. He was like, "You don't believe me? Give me the idol back." And she was like, "No."
Yeah.
And he was like, "Fine." And then like,
I know.
but I was
But,
like, "Why would you burn that relationship like that?" I don't.
It made no
It's
sense.
because he needed her for a number. I'm like, Jess is a really important number for you to have in the game, and for you to have just I don't know.
No, there was that that was not a good moment. But yeah, him even thinking about turning it away the vote away from Jess, I was like, "Are you dumb? What are you thinking right now? Why would that make any sense at all?" And then you look so bad in front of everyone else. Like Bonu
Look
doesn't know.
untrustworthy.
Yes. Ugh. And yeah, oh my god. Anyways, so then Banu is messing around with the machete and he cuts his finger with the machete. This is just like a note that I wanted to make. And then did you see when he put it on his forehead? That was a lot of
Yes.
blood.
It was.
Anyways.
And we never got like any. Like, there was no medic
No.
call. There was no checking about it.
And then the
I was
blood
like,
was like he wiped it off.
Yeah,
It was just like
I
a
don't
funny
know.
little Banu moment. So then Tiff and Jess start talking, and then Kenzie ends up coming over too. And they're talking pros and cons of everyone. And then they tell Jess about maybe voting Banu out because he's emotional.
Real.
Oh, and then what did Tiff say when they that's right. So then she was in a confessional talking about the pros and cons of everyone, and she gets to Jess and she's like, pros. We're gonna circle back to that one. I wonder how Jess felt watching these first two episodes. Probably not good.
I would be surprised if she didn't even watch them.
Really?
Like, she must have known. Like, it wasn't going to be great for her.
No. So then Jess tells Banu and Q about the, throwing Banu under the bus for being emotional, which only makes Banu more erratic after hearing his name thrown out. And he gets so upset about it. Like, I don't know. I would rather work with someone like Jess, though, I think, than Banu.
I agree. I would rather have somebody who is a little unaware than somebody who is really intense.
Yeah.
Because we see, look how it played out at Tribal.
Jess will do whatever you tell her to.
She will do whatever. As long as there is a trustful relation, like a solid relationship there, she will do what she needs to do.
Yeah.
Banu can't hide anything.
No.
He freaked the fuck out for no reason.
Yeah,
There was no version, really, of anything tonight where he was going to go home.
No.
Like, in reality, the two plans that he heard were both plans that were really developed. Jess or Kenzie. There should have been no, there was no way Kenzie was going to, I don't know.
And the second he heard his name, he should have been like, okay, interesting. Let me, maybe just like take a breather for a second and then go talk to them and be like, hey, Jess mentioned my name. Like, I just want to make sure we're on the same page. Like, what's up, you know?
Yeah.
Like, oh my God. So then we get a little moment, like we mentioned before. Q and Tiff start talking about the threat of Kenzie's loyalty and how it might be they're worried about her. She's too social. They're scared of her. And I'm like, now is not the time. You already planted this seed with Jess. You have to follow through at this point. You're in too deep.
Yeah.
So
It's just like too late in the day to be having those conversations.
yeah, exactly.
Like a plan, babe, you guys are about to leave. A plan needs to be developed.
Yeah. And Bonnie doesn't seem to do well under pressure. So maybe let's like give him a few hours to marinate on whatever decision we make. So that leads us to tribal council. First, Jess calls out Kenzie for not... Okay, this made no sense. Jess is like, Kenzie hasn't talked strategy with me all day. But she's BFFs with everyone else. And I'm like, Jess, she did try to talk to you at least a few days ago. You were 0% interested in talking strategy. Why would she, like, I guess maybe she could have been like, hey, Jess, just want to, like, you know, see where you're at. But, like, why would she? She has already tried. Jess, how about you try talking to Kenzie?
See, that's what I'm saying. It's like, Jess, you can't really claim that if you're not engaging in, like, if you're not going to people either.
Yeah. Like, if you feel left out, go insert yourself in conversations.
Yeah.
Then Jeff brings up the emotions from people from the challenge. And then Bonnie's like, I'm not going to get emotional right now. Then he gets very emotional.
Yeah.
And then Q's kind of like, hey, Bonu, maybe let's like keep some thoughts in our heads and not show our cards every time at tribal, which does not go over well. Because then Bonu turns to Kenzie and is like, who do I vote? And she's like, whoever you want. She's done. She's fed up.
He's like, don't do it. He's like, Kenzie, don't do that. Like, what?
And then he goes up to Tiff and Q as well, and they're just like, stick with the plan.
Like, that was so dramatic for no reason.
Kenzie's just like not having it too. If he did that to me, I don't even know what I would say.
He'd be standing next to me, and I'd be like,
who do we vote for?
Like, down.
Bonu, I'm voting for you right now.
If you get voted off tonight, this is why.
Yeah.
Me to everybody. If you get voted out right now,
imagine
reflect on this when you're in Ponderosa.
Imagine Kenzie stands up and's like, "Can we just vote Bonu then?" Like,
no, because I would have ate so hard.
Yeah. Well, then we get to the voting. Jess plays her fake idol. Obviously, it's fake. And something I thought was really funny, when Jeff starts reading the votes, immediately when Bonu gets one single vote, he starts packing up.
Yes.
Like, I'm out.
Water bottle. He put the bag on his side. I was like, bro, take a breather.
I don't. Yeah. He's got a lot of thoughts going through his head at every moment.
Yeah.
But ultimately, Jess gets voted out. Period.
Yeah. I'm sad. I really just want Asian people. I want Asian women to do well on this show. I want Asian people to do well. And it's hard sometimes watching them not. I just think Jess was slightly out of her element. But she was a good little character to have at this portion of the season. It's always fun to have like a silly person that's just like out of their element.
Yeah. Yeah. It's tough. Sometimes with people like Jess, I'm kind of like, how did you make it onto the show? Like, no one was able to catch up on anything. But like, in casting, nobody was able to
ask you like, have you seen the show?
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you know we film outside?
Yeah. Do you
all
know
the
you're gonna have
basics.
to like talk to people, like maybe like strategize a little,
We do challenges every episode.
and they like might be a little physical sometimes. Most of the time, probably,
Yeah, it's usually like an obstacle course with a puzzle.
especially in the beginning.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
but maybe she was like the world's biggest, like greatest liar. Not liar, but like maybe she can just,
Real.
you know,
I love the idea of people lying to get on reality TV. Like I think it's so funny.
yeah.
Um, what was I gonna ask? Who do you think is gonna win this season?
I don't, I don't know. I don't think I. Just thinking about some of the players right now, I don't see a great future for Q. Unfortunately, I just don't think he's playing very well right now. Maybe that could change. Um, I think Kenzie could do well. I think Tiff could. I want to see Tiff do really well.
She's probably like my character of the season so far. I'm really
Yeah.
enjoying her.
Yeah. Maybe I'll go Tiff. I've always root for Tiffany.
I feel like at episode 2, I don't know why, but I'm feeling like Hunter
Yeah,
is
we're
gonna
getting a
have
really interesting edit of him so far.
nothing negative of Hunter. He seems to be in the numbers.
Hmm.
Um, so I don't know. I think it'll be interesting. I feel like he's an interesting person to be watching, especially if you think like he himself is not necessarily a big personality, and you have Soda, you have Tevin, and you have Liz, and you have Venus. Honestly, those 4 people very big personalities. Um, and so I think he'll be able. But it's not like a Randon where he's on the outs. Like he's integrated himself within
Yeah.
the circle.
And then he obviously doesn't fit in with them, but it's in kind of like a, oh, haha, that's Hunter. Like,
Yeah,
he's
yeah,
not like openly, aggravating people, but they're all
yeah.
like, oh, it's like fine that he doesn't really fit in with us. Like, it's funny. There's nothing like wrong.
Not them actively making fun of him. He's just like funny. Like he doesn't fit in with us. Like
Yeah.
there's something like wrong with him, but like he's cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that's my episode. Maybe we should do this every week.
Hmm. Oh, who we think is going to win at the end of every
Yeah.
week. Okay.
Yeah.
Tiff.
Tiff. My vote right now is Hunter.
Okay. Well,
So,
that concludes episode 2 of Survivor Season 46. It was a good episode, but it was a lot. It was a lot of
it was a long
emotions.
episode. It was a lot of emotions, a long episode.
It
The
was kind of
challenge was hard to
heavy.
watch. Yeah. Yeah.
Honestly, the
Right.
first episode was too.
Right. Yeah, I'm still trying to vibe out this season. I don't know if I'm fully committed to it just yet, but we're gonna feel it out. We're gonna figure it out together.
Mhm. I think it's also tough when, this happens a lot of seasons where the tribe that loses the first challenge keeps losing and is just like bad.
I want them. I think what I want more than anything next season is 2 tribes of 9
Yeah.
instead of 3 tribes of 6.
It's too small, too early on.
6 is
It's
too
making
small.
people feel like they have to play endgame type things with such small groups when they're just getting started. Like, there's just not enough people to do things with,
And I feel like there's not a lot of fluidity once you merge. Like I feel like it's people are like, okay, well by the time we merge, it's the end game. Like we merge and there's 10 days left, 15 days left. Like you just need to stick with your guns.
Yeah. He just
Who the
burped.
fuck is that?
He just burped. He came up here, put his paw on me, and burped. And now he's leaving. Thanks, Frank. Okay. But yeah, I'm over the
Yeah.
3.
Me too. I'm ready for a shift in the game.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for watching another episode of the Making Fire podcast. this is a interesting episode, and I cannot wait to see next week. Be sure to follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at Making Fire Pod, and subscribe. Hit the like button, drop a comment. Who do you think is gonna win at this point? Well, see you next time. Can you sing us an outro?
No, this is my outro. I can't wait to see how this turns out.
Bye. Okay, and now do the outro.
Thank you for watching. Thank you for watching us Making Fire podcast. Thank you for watching us.